We are all connected through shared experiences, and while our circumstances may vary, there is almost always a common thread in our stories. I am Amy Seaman, and these are the stories that connect us. Oh, hi friends. Welcome to another episode of A Common Thread podcast. I'm your host, Amy Seaman, and today I have with me my friend Erica Loeks. She is a very talented photographer. Erica and I met, we were just talking about this, it was around Mother's Day back in 2019, right? Is that what we decided?
Yeah. Yep.
So we were working on a project together for Twin Cities Live where we were photographing moms and their kids. I was doing the styling, you were obviously doing the photography. And after that project, we didn't really stay connected. And if I'm going to be honest, it's because I don't think we really worked that well together at the time. We had very different points of view. And recently, Erica reached out to me and was sharing kind of what she's working on now, wanted to get together. So we met for coffee a few weeks ago. And the woman that was sitting, I told you this already, but the woman that was sitting across from me at the coffee shop was so different than the woman I remembered working with, 6-7 years ago. You just had, like, that nervous energy was gone. You had kind of this quiet confidence. There was a light about you. And when you shared with me and opened up kind of where you were at that point in time in your life and what you'd gone through since then, it really made sense, I think, as to why maybe we didn't work as well together. And I'm just so proud of you. And I wanted to have you on because I think there are a lot of common threads in your story. It's one of perseverance. It's about, what happens when you get so far away from your authentic self. And then how do you push through those walls and how do you get back to center? So Erica was gracious enough to come on and share her very vulnerable story with us. So thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yes, it's going to be a good conversation. So I want to start with, tell everyone what you had told me when we met about how you felt working with me, what your experience was.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me again. I wanted to reach out to you now because I'm going through this almost cocoon phase of realizing that who I am now, my authentic version of who I believe I like, what I like, everything aligning. It just reminded me of when I worked with you back then. There was something that you had that I remember thinking at the time, I'm trying to do this thing, and you were being so real and honest. And it wasn't as if I was jealous. I wanted that feeling of knowing who I was. And I wasn't able to say, when you really know something about yourself, you have that conviction and confidence about it. So for me now, I'm working on a project, and I knew that you would be a perfect subject because when I thought back on that project we worked on in 2019, there was this essence of confidence from you. You were being you, and I was not. And I was trying to sell something that if I'm being honest, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
And, I can laugh now because I wanted to sell what you were selling, but I had to hold into what I was selling, which was, it just wasn't me. And now, fast forward, I can feel my authenticity coming out, and I can feel and look at other situations where I just abandoned myself for something that I felt like I needed to do, or someone told me, like, hey, if you do this, you can see your business thrive, or personally you can, feel this way. But I can say for myself that every single time I've abandoned myself, then I'm putting on something that's just not me.
Yeah. And it's interesting that, again, just like looking back, like when you told me that, I was like, now that makes sense to me. I think of just the concept that you were working on at the time. So you had a studio space and you were bringing in like gowns, right, and dresses for women that could just show up for their photo shoot and have dresses to pull from, right? That was kind of, and it was very all neutrals, really light and airy. And I am colorful,
Yes.
print on print on print. And that was mostly, I think, the little bit of the rub is like, you wanted it to be all like whites and light pinks, and I was
Pastels.
like, there's no dimension. It felt a little flat, and so we kind of like, there was a lot of this back and forth about the vision. And in the end, I think we came up with a really wonderful compromise, and the photos were really beautiful. But I think that was sort of the friction that I was feeling is you were running really, you were holding true to what your vision was, and I was holding true to what my brand and vision was.
Right, and I was ready to jump ship to have. Like, I wanted the orange and the greens and it was just, when you sign on to do something, you have to stand behind it and say like, yep, that's me.
Absolutely.
And am I a pastel pink and pastel blue and muted tones? Not really. And if I'm thinking about it, that for me was, that it almost makes me feel so uncomfortable because it wasn't at all true to what I would say inside, deep down inside. Like, I love color. I love punchy, bold plaid. Maybe you throw that with something else that's dynamic.
But it's interesting how, like, but think about that. And I think that so many women can relate to that of like, sometimes you can't maybe put your finger on what it is, but deep down that something is not aligning, and it is often in that discomfort or sometimes I think when you keep running up against some walls and some barriers, it's like, why is that?
Yeah.
Is it because this is not really my path forward?
Yeah.
And sometimes it is your path forward and you just have to really go through it to get to the other side. But sometimes it's like, if it continues to happen and you continue to run against these walls and you continue to feel this discomfort and this unsettling, then like, maybe this isn't your path.
Yes.
And I think we've all been there and we're like, but then what's next? Because we thought this was going to be, I mean, for me as a creative, it's like, I can't tell you how many things I've started and stopped and thought like, this is it. This is going to be the next big thing. Yeah. And then it doesn't. And then you're like, now what? So talk a little bit about then kind of what happens after that, what's been going on the last few years. And then I definitely want to get to like what you're doing now on your project. So kind of if you're just whatever you're comfortable sharing, walk us through some of this journey of how life sort of unravels after that.
And even leading up, if I were to rewind before we did that project, I had just become a mom. And when you become a mom and your entire life changes, everything changes. And so I was wanting to create something new for myself. I was so uncomfortable at my son's newborn shoot. The dress I chose did not fit me. I was so hot. Like, I think there was some things there that were true to me. Like, I would love to have all these gowns for women to just throw on if what they're bringing doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I think I wanted to just be with my baby. Yeah. And there was this pressure I was feeling to, make an income that was able to provide for our family, within our family. Not fully provide, but, so when someone's like, you should try this. This is what I'm doing. And then you're like, okay, I'll try that. So it wasn't long after we worked together. Before we worked together, my dad had passed away.
That's right.
So then it was that. Yeah. And then I was going through postpartum depression, anxiety symptoms that masqueraded as a couple of other things. And for me, I thought postpartum depression, naively, is that like 2-week baby blues situation. But I started to realize that something was really wrong. So then on top of that, my dad had passed away. On top of that, I'm doing something that is so not authentic to me. And I knew it. But yet, I just kept faking it. Yep. And I think the more you fake something, the more uncomfortable you get. Yep. And then you start almost, butting heads with things that you shouldn't be butting heads with. But this is all alarm bells. And so for me, the anxiety, when that was really ramping up, that was just like a little alarm going off. Like, hey, I don't think we're aligned.
Yeah.
But it was like, keep pushing forward. And then I was doing some other portrait sessions, and everything, I could just feel that like every day I couldn't breathe. And so I sought out some help. I went to a psychiatrist, and unfortunately this is very common. And Minneapolis has a chapter of perinatal mental health, mood disorders support. And it is oftentimes unfortunate, but women who are suffering from postpartum depression, because it actually can come on later. 18 months was when my dad passed away. 20 months was when we worked together. So my son was at an age where I didn't think I had postpartum, but it actually was raging inside of me. And so I was misdiagnosed with an unfortunate misdiagnosis that then I was then prescribed medications for if I had had that diagnosis, which at that time it was bipolar disorder, which then I later was diagnosed or undiagnosed, like, no, we actually unfortunately misdiagnosed you.
Yeah.
You had postpartum depression, anxiety. And when you get medicated and you don't have this mental, disorder, you can go through what they call psychosis. And that's what happened.
And what is that? How does that present itself, psychosis?
So psychosis and postpartum depression, it's really rare. I can't remember what the statistic is, maybe like less than 3% or 2% of the population. You hallucinate sometimes, you might hear things, you might feel that like your baby is in danger, you might feel like you're in danger. It's really rare, and when it comes to light, it's stories that are just like, oh my gosh, how intense and so dramatic. And so for that to be brought on by the medications, not my own brain, but the medications that I was prescribed, it was so absolutely terrifying.
That does sound very, very scary.
Yeah, it was as if my brain was hijacked. And then you keep going back to this doctor seeking help because you're not feeling better. So then they up your medications. And then you're in this like fugue. I just didn't feel like myself, and obviously I didn't.
And that's probably hard to articulate, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like when I'm hearing you talk, all I can think of is I'd probably be just saying, I feel crazy.
Yeah.
But then what does that mean?
What does that mean?
How do they help?
I just want to be careful saying the word crazy because, sometimes we can get labeled certain things.
Yeah.
And being labeled crazy, it's just a really scary thing to be termed with because it means that you're not in control of yourself. And I couldn't control any of it. Mm-hmm. And it just kept getting worse. And I was having memory issues. I couldn't remember what I did the day before, which makes sense because those medications were not meant for my brain. Mm-hmm. So fast forward.
How long were you on it before they finally realized that this wasn't the right diagnosis?
Oh gosh, I think a year.
Wow.
And I was on a lot. They prescribed, 6 medications for anti-anxiety, antidepressant, a mood stabilizer. I remember talking to someone at PPSM, and they were like, this is not right. We've been trained in perinatal mental health mood disorders. You need to see someone who's trained in that. And then I went to another doctor, a naturopath, and she was like, I really think you need to get off of these. This is not normal.
For years, I struggled with symptoms I couldn't explain. What I now know was the start of perimenopause. My general practitioner missed it. My naturopath missed it. I spent over $10,000 on testing. I tried every supplement Instagram threw at me, and still nothing worked. But I refused to give up because this is not as good as it gets. Then I found Harmony Wellness. One consult literally changed everything. I was in their office that same day, finally feeling seen and heard. I started hormone replacement therapy shortly after, and for the first time in years, I feel so much hope. If you are struggling, please hear me. You are not alone. Your health is absolutely worth fighting for. Schedule a free consultation with Harmony Wellness today and take the first step toward feeling like yourself again. You are worth it. I am in what I like to call my Pam Anderson era. I am simplifying. I'm trying to embrace my natural beauty. I'm trying to strip down to the basics. But let's be real. I am not Pam Anderson, so I wasn't getting quite the same results. I realized that the biggest miss was in my skin. It was looking dull, tired, a lot of sunspots, broken capillaries, fine lines, wrinkles. Basically, just years of neglect were catching up to me. So I went to Infinite Youth Med Spa, and after a quick consultation, they recommended Moxie plus BBL laser treatments. I've had just 1 of 3 sessions so far, and I cannot tell you how many people have commented on how much I'm glowing. It's the kind of confidence boost that I don't think I really knew I needed. What I love about Infinite Youth is that they never made me feel like I needed anything. They just listened. They get that we all have our own insecurities, and they help you make the right choice for you without overdoing it. If your skin is feeling tired, if you're looking to simplify, trust me, the best investment you can make is not in makeup, it is in skincare. Go rebuild your confidence at Infinite Youth Med Spa and tell them A Common Thread sent you. I can snap a mirror selfie of my outfit of the day with full confidence, but the second you point a camera at me, I totally panic. Suddenly I'm questioning everything, like where do my hands go? What kind of face am I supposed to make? Am I attempting to look serious and sexy, or am I laughing off to the side at something hysterical that's not even there? It just feels uncomfortable. But Professionally has completely changed the game for me when it comes to professional photos. Their photographers instantly make you feel comfortable, guiding you through poses so you never feel awkward. Plus, their playlists always set the perfect vibe the moment you walk in the door. You will be dancing your way through that photo shoot in no time. And if a little liquid confidence helps, Prosecco is served as part of the package. I'm just saying. You might know them on Instagram for their signature pink backdrop, but if bold colors aren't your thing, do not worry. They've got neutral options too. Professionally was designed to make professional photos painless and accessible with quick turnaround times and sessions as short as 15 minutes. So if it's been 5 years or more since your last headshot, consider this your sign. Book now at profeshii.com. That's PROFESHIE.com. And don't forget to mention A Common Thread.
And then 2020 happened, and I was working with a therapist who was perinatal mental health and mood disorders trained. They changed it for a little while. It was like postpartum depression was what everybody had heard, and then they changed it to perinatal mental health mood disorders.
Okay.
Because the spectrum can include anger. Because you're feeling so overwhelmed that a byproduct of being so overtaken with anxiety is anger. And rightly so. It's like your brain is completely hijacked.
Yeah.
So 2020 came, and I remember that July I was working with a couple different people, and they had said, you should really work on trickling off of this. And so I did, and it was like it was like taking that nice deep breath. It took a while to get off of everything. There was one that I was on that they wanted me off as fast as I could get off. But working with the naturopath and then the new therapist, that was life-changing. Because for the first time, someone was listening to me and being like, I hear you. That's not right. That's not okay. And I wasn't photographing at that time. And unfortunately, there were some other things going on. My mom ended up being sick. And then, our city was just in so much turmoil.
Yes.
So my spouse at the time, his job was wonderful. So I took a break, a mental break, and I needed it. I needed to completely reset and detox from all of the medications I was on. And then slowly, I started to feel like I could take another photo again.
Yeah.
But I really didn't feel the urge to do that until just a couple years ago. A lot of self-discovery, a lot of healing. And then, I think my husband at that time, we decided to end our marriage. So then that's a whole nother way of, well, my new life is starting now. What do I want it to be?
Yep.
And if you really get to take a look at everything that you're not going to include and then everything you're going to include, it's kind of like going through a closet for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? This is dated.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
It's time to be done.
This no longer serves you.
This no longer serves you.
It's well loved. It's time to let it go.
Yep.
Served you well at one point in your life.
Yes.
No longer does. Yeah.
I understand why you bought that, but maybe we don't.
Yeah.
That's just not you anymore.
Yeah.
So I decided to go inward and to really look at, how did I get so unaligned?
Yep.
I can't believe, or I can believe like the last years, but how did I get so unaligned? And so I did a yoga teacher training, and
Had you done yoga before that?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I started doing yoga in 2007.
It's just one thing I just can't get on board with.
But, well, and it makes sense because there's a lot of stillness with yoga. You know, yoga is much more than just the movements, the asana. And so for me to go inward, I had to get really still. And sometimes to get still, to go into like a meditation, there's a lot of things that we might not want to look at.
Yeah.
And so am I being authentic? Am I abandoning myself for maybe someone else's idea of what life is? Mm-hmm. I keep hitting the microphone.
It's fine.
So I think for me, it encouraged me to sit and be quiet and really think of, Erica, what do you like? Mm-hmm. On the simplest scale, what would you be excited about? Who are you? If you were to go back in time, what does little Erica want you to maybe do or celebrate or hold with high integrity? Mm-hmm. So I did the first 200-hour yoga training, and that just, to sit and meditate and to sit with myself, it encouraged me to go further. So then I did a meditation teacher training, and then I pursued the wellness of yoga, and I did a year of that. And it snowballed from there. Mm-hmm. And that was when I started thinking about, I think I want to do more photography again, which was refreshing because I basically stamped it and said I'm walking away. Mm-hmm. And I started photographing graduating seniors, which is something I never thought I would do. But, you know, I have so many mom friends. They have these beautiful kids graduating. So it was more or less for the moms. Mm-hmm. Because I know what that was like to have a kid and to watch them become a young adult.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so tender. It's just such a milestone moment. Mm-hmm. You know, they go through so many phases.
Yeah, I worked with another local photographer, Carlene. We did a summer series where we worked with a handful of seniors, and I did the styling. And what was interesting about it is, like, there's this conflict between what mom wants you to wear for your photos and what the daughter wants to wear for their photos.
Oh, yes.
And so I was like the go-between, you know, that would kind of help them gain the confidence to not necessarily do what they see all their other friends doing, right? But really what feels true to them. And then also just getting mom comfortable with, like, you know, we'll do some photos that are for grandma, but this is really about them. And so letting their personality shine through, it was interesting. And also some were a little sad and just like how critical they are of themselves at such a young age. You know, when they would see the photos back, and I thought they looked so beautiful, and some of them just did not. We ended up redoing one photo shoot because we're like, at the end of the day, we want you to love these photos, and they just weren't happy with how they felt that they looked, you know, so we changed some outfits, we did some things differently. I mean, I look back at my senior photos, they were a mess.
Oh, I sat on a piano. Okay.
I was like leaning against my car. I had like a purple Eclipse convertible, and I was like in the front of it, like a total tool.
And, you know, where I am now, I wonder when the seed started to plant to abandon myself to be someone else. Yeah. And I think about these kids, and they oftentimes show up, and they aren't sure yet that they should even be celebrated on that level, like a professional photo of me. Yeah. But then other ones, I mean, they're ready to have a photo shoot, like a fashion shoot, and I applaud it. Like, great. Yes. It's a mix, and you know, just celebrating and being able to have like a recorded moment. Like maybe they're going to look back and they are going to laugh. Yeah. Oh gosh, this photo of me on this piano. Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to show it to you.
We got to bring these out. Mine are really funny. And I tried to do a serious face, and I do not.
Oh, yes,
me too. I have a beautiful smile. I am meant to be smiling in photos. And when I try to do serious, I always look back. I'm like, who is that? But I did that in a lot of photos because I had seen the other girls do it. Because
you saw someone else do it. Mm-hmm. So you got to try it.
I love, and I do a lot of mentoring with young high school girls now, and through the Wayzata High School. And some of them are still in college, and they still reach out to me. Like one of my mentee last year, I just adore her. She texted me at it was almost 11 o'clock at night the other day. And I was like up. And we had this 30-minute back and forth dialogue. And it just touched me that like she still is like thinking of me and checking in. And I just think, and she went through a lot of similar things I did with some mean girls in high school. And I just think, gosh, I wish I had someone like that I really would have felt comfortable with reaching out to at 10:30 at night to check in. And I wish I had the confidence to really be me. I didn't start showing up as me until much later in life, probably I think in college. I think somewhere along the lines in college, I really started to come into my own. But high school was a really terrible experience for me. And I can look back and say I abandoned who I was in order to please my best friend at the time, who turned out to be a horrible human to me and made my senior year really, really horrible. Sent me into anorexia because it was the only thing I could control. I had no friends. Like when I say I had no friends, I had no friends. So I'd hang out with the guys, and then I was labeled as a slut because they were spreading rumors that I was sleeping with all of them.
Sure.
You know, just stuff like that just really, I mean, I'm 41 and I still can vividly remember some of those moments where I felt so alone and so less than. And so I think that's part of why I am so passionate now about lifting up other women and helping them find the best version of themselves. But yeah, you know, we've talked about this, and I want you to share a little bit about, like, you called it something really beautiful, the dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
I bet almost every woman can kind of pinpoint a time in their life when they feel they've gone through that.
And, you know, maybe someone got a pass in this life and they don't know what I'm talking about. And to that, I'll say...
I love that for you.
Love that for you. But in my experience, I have a feeling, and, you know, I'm a firm believer that there are ways to course correct. Like, you might have picked a life that you're just not in alignment, and something is pushing you to course correct.
Yeah.
And then when you course correct, you're going through the closet and you're throwing out those, all of it. I mean, I bet I threw away, in terms of like what I was giving up to have the life that I wanted.
Yep.
That dark night of the soul came at a cost. But then, you know, a caterpillar, when it goes into a cocoon, my son is such a biology nut. I know all these weird fun facts of biology, but it turns into like a goopy goo.
Yeah.
And then the DNA within that caterpillar becomes a butterfly. Who would ever believe that?
Yeah.
You have to go through a dark night of the soul. You might lose some friendships. You might lose more friendships than you would like to even think. You might lose relationships, your bank account, a job. And at that moment, when you have really like woke up and you're like, I cannot believe, I feel like this is like, you can't take one more thing away from me, God. That's the minute the work starts, where you can say, I must be here for a reason, and it must be something bigger than this. So that dark night, it started in 2022. And I picked me. I put all my chips in on me. And, you know, through the yoga training, through the meditation, and then through the School of Wellness for yoga, which is, it's an interesting word, but it's Ayurveda. I think I came home to myself and how I value and hold myself in high esteem. It was I slogged through those years. And what gave me...
How long was it?
I mean, I want to say it was a 2-year.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've talked to other people.
But following, I mean, that's on the end of an also already, 3 years of really difficult season in life? Yeah.
Yes.
You're like 5 years in.
I'm in there wondering, like, how much longer?
Right, yeah.
And it needs to be a thoughtful time where you really get quiet.
Yeah.
And you really slow down, and you start to see that the things that you used to value, no.
Yeah.
They are no longer of value. And then you start feeling the worthiness of yourself, and you will never abandon yourself again. Like, I remember standing in the mirror, and I have these Post-it notes on my mirror, and this one was like, I pick you, and I love you, and I will not, abandon you. When you feel that way about yourself, you will never, if you are a rainbow bright, you are never going to go for pastel again or whatever it is. Yeah. Like, all those times I said yes to a pizza that I'm like, this pizza is so gross. I should have just said, I want pepperoni or whatever.
Do you think you're a people pleaser?
Oh, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How can I make everyone else happy so that I fit?
Yeah.
Because if I really go back, I went to an elementary school where you had to conform and you were not allowed to be you. You conformed. These are the rules. And I was told that I was too much from my earliest memory. So if you're told you're too much, then you abandon yourself.
Yep.
And it's like, well, then what do I need to be? And then someone's telling you, be less. And so you start to really become those messages.
Yep.
And when you talk about girls, and boys too, any kiddo, any gender, it is insufferable when you are presenting yourself and you are so excited and you're going to come in and you're so excited and you present yourself, and then someone just comes and snuffs that out.
Yep.
And it could be anything, like, I don't know who you think you are. And you're like, well, I'm Amy Seaman.
Yeah.
Well, who do you think you are? Like, that immediate pushing down of taking out someone's flame when they're just being them.
Yeah.
I can remember that from my earliest memory. And that bums me out for little Erica because, now, what do you want to do? The other day I went to Dairy Queen. I got a crunch cone. Have you had a crunch cone lately?
No.
Okay.
I can tell you the last time I had a cone.
There's going to be a day where you're like, imposter syndrome got the best of me. What is it that I want? Who am I? Yeah. What does she want again? And this is the meditation part. Like, I'll go in and be like, little Erica, what do you need? And she will tell me how I've abandoned her. And there's just something about celebrating the little kid inside that's like, I just really want to be seen and heard. There's an ice cream cone. They dip it in crunch and, it's got sprinkles. It is the best ice cream cone at Dairy Queen. And I'm
going to get it this weekend.
Oh my gosh.
Just for you.
Please do.
And for little Amy. Okay, I want to back up for a second, though, because meditation is something that I know I would actually benefit from. It is very loud in my head. And I've had that validated by when I've had readings with mediums. They'll say, they're like, it is really loud in your head. And I know that. Like, I feel at conflict with myself so often. And so I know that, and I hold stress in my body, which is not good for my physical state. And so I know everyone has said meditation. I don't really know how to meditate. So can you give us some tips of, like, if you're just starting to meditate, how do you quiet the noise? And then, as you said, like, are we talking to our younger selves, and what does that look like?
So for me, meditation, there are a couple of apps that helped me out along the way. I read a book, I don't remember, maybe 2018, 2019, 10% Happier by Dan Harris. And then he created an app, which the name now is different.
Does he have a podcast? I feel like I've listened to his podcast.
It was 10% Happier. And then it changed to something else, 10% or just Happier. And I did a silent meditation retreat with Jack Cornfield. And he owns Spirit Rock Meditation Center in, I believe it's in Arizona. It could be in New Mexico. Jack Cornfield does a lot of metta, which is, if you know what metta is, it is a form of loving kindness. And it is a mantra you can say, and there's different nuances with it, but you picture someone in your mind's eye that's just really easy to love. So for me, it's my son. And you can say, may they be happy, may they be healthy, may they be safe, may they live with well-being. And you feel that way towards this person that's so easy to love. So with metta, it's about raising the love energy amongst everyone for everything, even the people that we hate the most, which are the ones that cause us the angst. So then you take that loving kindness that you
Immediately
just
pictured.
I know. So then you're going to picture someone you might have a little bit of angst with. Don't picture the most angst. Like, don't picture your level 10.
Yeah.
Go to the next one that you're having a little problem with. And then you're going to let that overflow, that love, like a fountain overflowing with water, let that overflow to the next one. And oddly, when you get done with that, you're going to actually feel love to this, who knows who it is. The person sitting at the DMV when you got tabs that, didn't want to talk to you. Then you're going to overflow to the next one. Maybe it's someone that you're actually really having a hard time with.
Yeah.
And rather than feeling that discontent for this person that is chewing away at your ability to be in your authentic self, then you're going to send them the same metta. And then you're going to go to the person that is really hard, whoever it is, really hard. And you're going to look at that person in your mind's eye, and you're going to send them the love that you sent, the one that's
Will you say it
easiest.
again? Recite it, what it was again.
One of the ones that I say is, may they be happy, may they be healthy, may they be safe, may they live with well-being. Because then that's saying, I want no harm for this person. And then what that does for you is it transforms your love energy. So rather than having this discontent, it could be even hate, which is such a horribly hard feeling to feel as a human. Because what do you do with that? Ugh. It feels sticky and icky and like tar almost. So I did that silent meditation retreat during the pandemic with Jack Cornfield. But then I started doing the app 10% Happier, and I just made a commitment to do it every day. And it doesn't have to be long. It could just be 5 minutes. And one of the things that they recommended was when your text message ding goes off, instead of looking at the text, flip your phone over and then do the loving kindness or do the meditation where you are bringing awareness to the breath that's coming in your body. Which for a lot of people, they're like, that seems like a waste of time. I got places to go, people to meet. Like, I got to get going. But that is what's causing so many, in my experience, so many of my own problems is I'm not slowing down. And then I'm not witnessing the dis-ease that I'm combining in my own body by going, and stuffing it all down so that I can just keep performing at a pace that we just can't function. And when I say we, I want to be careful because this is just my experience. And what brought me joy and happiness was something that thousands and thousands, millions of people have found has brought them joy. So I did a meditation training in meditation under the same umbrella of Tantra. And it really is about bringing awareness to your breath. So you are slowing so far down. So meditation isn't about getting rid of all of the thoughts. All of the thoughts are going to come in. And they might come in really fast when you first start meditating. To this day, there are some days when I get into a meditation, whatever's coming in front of me, I'll slow it down like traffic so that I can actually then look at it and see, well, that thought's not real. So why are you here? And I know this sounds almost simplified, but for me and for what I understand about humans, we will tell ourselves stories that are just what our mind is making up. Like, oh, that person's looking at me. They don't like how I look. I know they don't like how I look. I totally wore the wrong thing, whatever. We will tell a story. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. All these stories, they're not real. We're just telling ourselves a story. So then I can witness it and be like, well, it's really nice of you to be here today, but I don't really think that today. I think I'm good. And I actually think I'm pretty excited about this project. So how does that feel instead? And it's like it almost like turns to sand. And this is just how my mind works. Everybody's mind is going to work differently. But for me, I hold my breath a lot, and I hold my breath up high. And then I will catch myself actually just holding my breath constantly all day, rather than breathing in a way where I'm sending breath to my body that makes it feel relaxed. So when I catch myself holding my breath, I know immediately something's not right. I don't know what it is. What do we got to look at? And then, just like that closet with the clothes, when I really get in there and look at it, there's something I might be running from. There might be something I'm not ready to confront. So that dark night of the soul, I started looking at all of the things.
Yeah.
And it was like expiration dates on things in the refrigerator where you're like, why did I keep that sour cream so long? I don't know.
And you see it in the back, but like
right there.
I can tell you about 4 things in my fridge right now that are spoiled.
Yeah.
And I see them.
Yeah.
But to like reach in and grab them and throw them away, sometimes it just feels like it's a project for another day.
Like, why am I keeping that? And that is what, for me, in that journey of like, it feels unbearable to show up in any other version of me than the version of myself that feels I'm here for a reason. And I refuse to let whatever tape is playing in my head to run the show anymore. So you don't get to run the show anymore. My active, true self, my authentic self is going to run the show now. And, you know, she might not have like her full expression of her voice, but I think she's pretty close. So we don't need to be an imposter today. I can do this. I am smart enough. I am good enough. I do have a point of view. And someone told me recently, fear, if you rewire your brain, it really might just be excitement. But because you've never done this before, there's that little voice in the head, in the back of you, that's terrified to do something new.
Yeah.
So rather than be like, oh, I don't know if this will work. I mean, I'm not that good at this yet. Excitement can come in and be like, yeah, but how exciting, because this is you. Isn't this exciting? And so reframing this excitement, rather than go to senior year Amy who's being gossiped about, all when she's being her authentic self, you know, those individuals, I'm going to guess, at the seat of it, were really jealous of you. And rather than them look at you and be like, how can I lift this woman up? I mean, we just don't have the awareness at that age. Some kids do have that awareness. They have parents that can, you know, walk alongside them as teachers and really help them understand differences are good. How boring would it be if we were all, you know, whatever. And so to pluck Amy out of that situation and be like, you're different because you're meant to be different. We're all meant to be an expression of something that is uniquely ours. So back to meditation, that's what it gave me. It was like a gift to slow my mind down, and that I don't have to be performative. I don't have to people please. Oh my gosh, Erica, will you please just be you? If someone doesn't want to be your friend anymore, c'est la vie. C'est la vie.
Yeah.
There are going to be new friends that will come into your life that are going to love you, support you. They're going to be there on that dark night of the soul when you're sitting at home. Okay, I went to a thrift store and I couldn't even believe it. I found these DVDs of Felicity.
Oh, yes.
DVDs. But there was a part of me that didn't even want to watch TV anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't want to bombard myself with, I really wanted to heal, but those DVDs. And I would make a chicken on a Friday, and I would have bubble water with a lime. And I just remember sitting there like, did you ever go to the Renaissance Fair?
No.
Okay, they would serve you a chicken, like a hen, and you had to eat it as if it was...
Like with your hands.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And so there were days when I was just giggly laughing, watching Felicity on a DVD.
Yeah. Eating your chicken.
Eating my chicken.
Barbaric.
Just being so...
I love that, though.
You know, being so happy.
I can picture it. Yeah.
And yeah, I know that not everybody has that freedom, but I think that if we all carve out the time that we need, I do believe in meditation. I've seen it change my life.
I mean, you really honestly inspired me to start this. I think you also simplified it in a way where like, oh, okay, because I always thought meditation was sitting in complete stillness and like not allowing yourself to have any thoughts other than your breath, and that I really can't seem to do. But love the idea of spilling over love to other people, because I do think at the core of who I am love and light. But I am triggered by certain people, especially recently. Things have just been coming up where it feels like that mean girl situation again.
For sure.
And I am immediately right back to where I was in high school and trying to like push through it in a way where it's like I'm back to where I feel gaslit. I know I'm doing nothing wrong, and yet I feel I'm being mistreated, I'm being mislabeled. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I like this idea of the visualization of it and how I can move past it, where this individual or individuals are no longer a trigger for me, because that's the thing. It's like I hear something, I see something, and I'm instantly triggered. And that doesn't feel good.
No.
It doesn't feel good. It's not where I want to be spending my energy or time. And I don't like that like bubbling up feeling that I get when this individual like sometimes even their presence is like.
And that trigger, that is the gateway, the portal to the wound of 17-year-old Amy.
Yeah.
And if you can go back to that day and be there present with yourself, and then recognize that these individuals, they were having the hardest time. And to see someone else have a shining light. Mm-hmm. I mean, we see mean girl syndrome in adults all the time. And for the most part, I would say there's enough for all of us. We're all here for a reason. There's no reason to take someone else's thing away, but to go back and heal that part of you. Yeah. And some people are like, how did you heal? What does that even mean? I didn't know what it meant either. Mm-hmm. But it really is revisiting this scene. Wherever the trigger is, that's where the healing needs to go, the wound. And for me, that felt, oh my gosh, to confront those moments, it just felt like I was going in and removing myself and being like, hey girl, let's get out of here. But before we go, let's just hope that they're doing well now. Yeah. And that was really hard for me, because I think a lot of my heart, I had to harden it to get through what I got through. It was just wild being gaslit through my entire life when it was just me. Yeah. Oh, I've been told I'm too much a lot in my life, and now I'm just like, I am a lot, and if I'm too much for you, you're just not my people. You're not my people. Yeah. So talk to us, Erica, about what you're doing now, because I love this authentic self project that you're on. So share that before we wrap up. Well, and this is how we ended up. I wanted to see you again because I thought, the authentic self, what does that mean to me as a photographer? What does this mean for me business-wise? And I started thinking about how I've gotten to this point where I can see myself now authentic. And I remember the day, I can remember a very distinct day where I picked myself. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, it's as if I'm aligning. It's like something is aligning and pulling me into this pathway. And so I'm doing a photo project called the Authentic Self Portrait Project. And I'm photographing individuals who, if I know their story, I'm asking them, so I know your story. I need you in it, because I know I'm all in. Yeah, and I know that that project we did, you were so authentic. And that part of me, I remember just feeling like, well, this isn't jealousy, but I want her confidence. So there are people, their stories, you've always heard them like, I was doing this, and then I did a right hand, and I did this. So every one of the portraits are people with really great stories where they chose their authentic self, and they're now positioning themselves within that, and they're finding just like new business, new opportunities, whatever it is. So the portraits I'm doing during this year, and then hopefully I'll have a gallery showing next year, and I'm going to be dialoguing like this, recording the questions. So hopefully when you interact with the photo of each portrait, you'll be able to put headphones on and it'll be your voice like, I remember the day I found my authentic self. And you'll be able to hear people's stories and while you look at their photo. And then from, my own business standpoint, I'm hoping to be able to help people find their authentic self when they're having their professional photos taken, either for branding or within a company, however it is. I'm hoping just to bring people's authentic self out in their portraits through styling, wardrobe, so many different things, even down to the color of the lipstick that is suited for them to make them shine.
Yeah.
So it's kind of twofold right now. I'm in this fine art space where I'm pulling back from my fine art background and storytelling, and then the branding piece of it for the business.
I love it. I'm so in awe of you, Erica. I really am. I am so grateful that the universe brought us back together again. I'm excited to be a part of this project with you. I love, even though I missed everything that happened in between, I love that I get to see kind of the before and the now and how you are.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing your story. Before we go, the last question I ask everyone is, what is one common thread that you believe connects us all as human beings?
I really believe in the power of love, because even in the hardest thing, even your worst moment, when you feel that power of love, and when you sit in communion with other people who feel the power of love, that's this gift that we all get to give. And some people hold it away from other people, but it's a gift. And when we can all give it to each other, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
I mean, if COVID taught us anything, it's that the power to show up for other people while showing up for yourself, it's equal, it's tandem. And then loving even the people that are hard to love. Yeah. It heals the wound that triggers you out of your present day, and that allows you to align with your authentic self. So yeah, I really think it's love.
Beautiful. Thank you, Erica. I'm going to post in the show notes Erica's website, so if you're interested in working with her, you can go there to find the information. We will see you all again next week for more conversations. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.